if I liquidate an old 401k and take the cash, what taxes will I pay at tax time? Well, first off, we have to ask the question is it a Roth 401k or a traditional? It sounds like it is a traditional 401k, and that you're taking the cash all at once. So we're making an assumption there that this is a traditional and just a standard 401k, and that you're taking the cash right now. What taxes will I pay at tax time? Jeff, what do you think?
Well, we're also going to assume here that you're under the age of 59 and a half. But for the first part of the answer, you're going to pay ordinary tax on this $5,300 if you pull it all out at once.
And if you're under 59 and a half, then you're going to have two choices. You're either going to pay a penalty of 10% plus that tax. This is a traditional 401k. If it is a Roth 401k, then you're not going to pay any tax on the money that you put in. But if it has gain, then you're going to pay penalty on that.
Unless you've held it for 5 years, right?
Well, even if you held it for 5 years,
okay.
I think you're always paying a penalty. Maybe. So I'd have to take a look at that one right off the top of my head. But I think that you can always get the money back out off of a Roth.
Right.
So that's first off. So there's a misnomer there. They're actually great savings accounts for young people, because if they get into an emergency and they actually need the money, they're not dealing with a whole bunch of penalties to take the money they put in now, and it's always the gain. No, you might be right. Maybe they're paying tax on that gain, but they don't have the penalty if they held it over 5 years.
Right.
I think.
And when you pull money out of those Roths, you're pulling your contributions out before you're pulling
Correct.
the income out.
Correct. You're taking the contribution back. So if I put $10,000 in a Roth over the years, I can take $10,000 out any time. Now that's different. If I'm putting it in a traditional, well, now I've taken a tax deduction. Now they penalize you. So if you take it out early, then you are going to be getting hit with the penalty tax, plus you're paying tax at your ordinary rate, and it's going to be your highest bracket. It's going to be your highest marginal rate. The other fun part of this is if you are 55, you can make what's called a 72T election. What that means is you could take equal payments over 5 years if you are under 59 and a half, and I think you have to do it at least 5 years.
I believe so.
So even if you're 58, you're still taking it over 5 years. And then you would avoid the $10,000 or the 10% penalty. You'd still pay ordinary tax on it.
Right.
If you're over 59 and a half, you're just paying the tax on it. You avoid the penalty.
So yeah, this pulling money out of a retirement plan, especially if you pull it out early, can get quite expensive tax-wise.
Mm-hmm. Very. So, but you got a deduction when you put it in. So,
right.
Here's the scenario that we see all the time. Somebody makes a nice big fat deduction. They were in a high income year, and then they have a bad year and they're pulling the money out. Well, if they're having a bad year, chances are they're in a much lower tax bracket.
Yep.
That's when you should be either pulling the money out or switching it over into a Roth and taking the tax hit on the conversion.